Hello there guys, what is going on? SonOfChelsea back here again for my team selector and preview, my final preview and team selector actually for the 2020-21 season for the Champions League final tomorrow night in Porto, Manchester City versus Chelsea. It still feels surreal. I don't know if you guys feel the same. Every hour that goes by now, my stress level for this game increases by 1%. It's still a little bit surreal that we are in a Champions League final. I don't think it will truly hit me till I see the teams come out tomorrow and we're minutes away from kickoff to realise we're in a Champions League final once again, and we could be 90 minutes away from once again experiencing the greatest feeling in club football. And I think that should be valued by Chelsea supporters, even if tomorrow night doesn't go the way we want it to. I think that the job Thomas Tuchel has done in such a short space of time, I think that you could have criticisms about maybe the league campaign and the FA Cup, but he's overachieved in the Champions League. There is no denying that. That is where his biggest achievement has come for me, is in the Champions League. Getting this squad, and as well getting a club that hadn't won a knockout tie when he arrived for 7 years, pre-Atletico Madrid, to a Champions League final, I think is not a success. It's not going to be put in a trophy cabinet if we don't win tomorrow. But I think we should use it as a springboard to say that we can compete in this competition with a coach the quality of Thomas Tuchel. So hopefully that will give the squad more confidence next year and motivation. But when you get to this stage, you're 90 minutes away. It's not like losing a semi-final or even a quarter-final. You know, you are that close now. And it will be devastating if we don't win tomorrow, especially losing the FA Cup final as well. So pressure, nerves, scrutiny, intensity. It's the biggest game in club football. There's no way around it. But the prize on offer here is so big. Before we get into my preview, I just want to shout out once again the giveaway for this shirt here, the exclusive Lucid FC Son of Chelsea shirt that we're giving away next week. The winner will be announced. Thank you for submitting and you know, getting down in the comments, liking the videos, interacting, giving your thoughts, your positive reaction to the shirt. So make sure, link in the description box below to go and support Lucid FC, the guys who support this channel. But also all the info for the giveaway is in the description box below and on your screen right now. So what you have to do, make sure firstly you're subscribed to Son of Chelsea, hit that like button, also get down in the comments. You can comment up to 5 times on this video to enter the giveaway. Winner will be announced next week. But this is the biggest game in 9 years. Team news, of course I am recording this pre-Tuchel's press conference, but it's a little bit different this week because not only have we seen the squad that travelled to Porto, which included Mendy and N'Golo Kante, the 2 biggest fitness concerns going into this game, but they have trained before. So I am pretty confident these 2 players will at least be in the squad. The fact they've travelled to me gives me the indication that there is a possibility they can be involved, and I think that gives us all hope. And I think that for me, these 2 are very essential players. I think they are. I think the chances for Chelsea to win tomorrow increase and decrease based on their availability. I really think it's that key in 2 massive positions. N'Golo Kante has been, both of these players, I mean, think about the amount of clean sheets Mendy has in the Champions League this season, the big saves he made against Real Madrid throughout the competition too. He's been incredible between the sticks. What an incredible story, Mendy. All of the story, but his journey before joining Chelsea was incredible. I remember sitting here speaking about Mendy when he signed for Chelsea and being just amazed at his story, you know, of his career. It's truly incredible. But now in a Champions League final too, and N'Golo Kante, outstanding against Atletico Madrid, in particular in the second leg, because he didn't start the first leg, but he was unplayable in that second leg. In the quarterfinal too, but in particular in both legs of the semi-final. He is the reason Chelsea can win games like this. He really is. So it's essential he's in the team tomorrow. So giving you away one of my players, but I think that everyone has N'Golo Kante in their team. I have to worry for you if you don't have N'Golo Kante, a fit N'Golo Kante. Even an 80% N'Golo Kante has to play this game for me. But let's take a look at sort of Thomas Tuchel. For him, it's kind of a chance of redemption, you know, very quickly at Chelsea. He hasn't really talked about it that much, but, you know, he lost the Champions League final last year with PSG. Funny enough, of course, Thiago Silva was playing that day. Another chance for Thiago Silva to get some redemption in the Champions League too. Both of them experiencing the pain of that final last year. And I just wonder for Tuchel a bit of redemption here. It's a question I posed, I think, to Adam Newson in our sort of preview earlier in the week, where I said, if Tuchel was to win this, where does he rank in terms of great Chelsea managers? That may sound silly when you first hear it, but this is the one trophy that can sort of catapult you in terms of a legacy at a club. It really can. Tuchel versus Pep, round 3. How much weight do you put into the games we've had against Man City? I am in the sense of who I'm picking in my starting 11. I don't think we can get around that because there are, the way the teams play, the natural sort of feeling of both teams, the way they go about their game week in, week out. I think you can take things from those two games. Maybe less so the Premier League game, because by the time the Premier League game rolled around, both sides knew who was going to be in the Champions League final and knew they'd be facing each other again. So I actually think maybe the FA Cup semi-final is maybe a nearer indication to what we'll see. But for Pep Guardiola, this is such a big game for Man City in their history. And really, it's the final piece, I think, for Pep's legacy at Man City, which has been astonishing. What is it now? 3 Premier League titles in 4 years. The amount of League Cups and FA Cup. European glory, I think, would see Man City go to that elite level like Chelsea were craving for so long before winning it in 2012. They have been astonishing. They really have this season. They are such a good team, and I think for Pep, all he's done in the Champions League in his career of Barcelona, but of course the hurt he's had in recent years in the Champions League, of course losing with Bayern a few times, that was an incredible team. How they didn't get to a Champions League final is quite incredible. But with this Man City side, there's been a narrative building for a few years, the amount of quarter-final defeats they've had, but finally making it to a European Cup final. It's easy for a Chelsea fan to say this, but I think the pressure is on Man City because I think most people expect City to win this game, and of course because they're the Premier League champions, and I just feel that they have been on this journey to get to this stage for so long. I wonder psychologically if that could play an impact and actually positively help Chelsea in this game, despite the fact I think City will be putting their strongest team out. I predict that there'll be no messing around from Pep. I mean, one thing you do have to point out, in the previous 2 times Tuchel and Pep have faced off, there have been rotation for both managers. I think that you look at the Man City team that played against PSG in the second leg, I think this will be close to what he starts tomorrow. I think it will be a very, very strong side. Obviously, I don't think Pep, who sometimes can be guilty of overthinking things, I don't think will make that mistake in the European Cup final with his record in finals and knowing the mistakes he's made before. So I think Ederson, Kyle Walker, I think will play ahead of Cancelo. Stones and Diaz will be the back 2. Zinchenko, I think, will be ahead of Benjamin Mendy, who I think Reece James could have a great time against like he did in the Premier League game. I think Zinchenko will start here. Mahrez, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Foden, De Bruyne and Silva. He could sacrifice Bernardo Silva, potentially one of those attackers, for Rodri, to bring Rodri, who's been such a key component of their midfield, in if he wants a little bit more protection. But, obviously, as you can see in my graphic right now, it's a 4-4-2. But obviously, we know how fluid his formation is. It's very hard to sort of predict sometimes. I think it will be more of a 4-3-3. It could be a 4-6-0 given no striker. You think about how difficult it was for Chelsea when they went with a false 9 formation against us back in January in that Premier League game when Frank Lampard was still here, and how devastating they can be. If City play to their top level, I think they win the game. I don't think they win it by a big margin, but I think they win it because of the key decisive players they have. Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best players in the world, not just best midfielders in the world, but if he's on his game, it's almost impossible to stop him. Also from set pieces, if you give away free kicks, we know Riyad Mahrez can score from free kicks. He had a really good run in the Champions League. Ilkay Gundogan has had an amazing goal scoring season, making those runs from deep, but also sometimes playing as the forward. That's why it's so difficult to prepare for City, because so many of their players can hurt you in a number of positions. But as well, I think Phil Foden, as I've constantly said on this channel, you think about the English talent, young English talent coming through now. Phil Foden is one of those, and he also could win this game for Man City. He scored some big goals in their run to the Champions League final, and a development of him under Pep, a bit like Mason Mount this season. Both of those young players, you could add Reece James on here as well, has been incredible. The consistency and the way he's been developed in that side to be one of the best talents they have, and such a threat off that left. I think he will start off the left, Foden there. I think it will be probably, if I was to guess, a front 3 of Foden, De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez. But as I say, the way the system under Pep can very fluidly change to a back 3, it can look like a back 4, it can go to a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3. I don't think from the offset, I don't expect what Pep did in the Premier League game is any indication for what he's going to do here. He's not going to do it. He's not going to allow Rodri to just be isolated in midfield in the Champions League final. I mean, I think he'd be mental to do it, to be honest. He will be bold in his selection, because I think the way the game will play out is a bit like the FA Cup final. I think that the FA Cup semi-final. I think that City will have a lot of the ball. I think Chelsea will be going into this game with a counter-attacking approach, which I think is what most people expect. So really, it comes down to Tuchel's big team decisions. Now I get to my team selector. I think the 2 big calls that Tuchel is going to make is the front 3 and the right wing back, right centre back sort of conundrum, who he plays in those two positions. I think it's only really one player in the front three that you change here. I think it's debatable. The right centre back, right wing back. I think it actually, on that debate, firstly, I think it's about who plays where. I don't think it's actually personnel, because I don't think Christensen will start this game. I think Dave is obviously going to play, and I think Reece James should be playing too. It's really hard on Christensen. I feel really sorry for the guy because he's been in brilliant form, and I wouldn't really complain if he does start, but you know, it is maybe a risk. A player who hasn't played a lot recently to throw him into a Champions League final, and although of course Christensen was a big player in the Champions League semi-final and throughout this run really under Tuchel, all the rounds up to now, I just think that Reece James, the quality he has, I want to see him at right wing back. I do wonder if because Tuchel has played Reece at right centre back against Leicester and Villa, he's done it in preparation for this game. I do wonder if that's a big thing. But here's my first predicted line. I'm going to give you two, and I'm only changing the front three for both, as I do mostly. So the first 11, as you can see here, Mendy, Dave, Thiago Silva, Rudiger. So Dave takes his place at the right centre back. Reece James goes to right wing back. Kante, Jorginho, Ben Chilwell, Hakim Ziyech, Mason Mount, Timo Werner. So the big calls here, I think firstly, I want Dave at right centre-back because I don't think it's a type of game. I think in games against, say, Leicester where Chelsea and Villa, where Chelsea have to be a lot more proactive, maybe the concern from Tuchel is someone getting isolated in the back three, and you'd back Reece James to have the mobility, the aggression, but also the pace to deal with fast counter-attacks. I don't think it's going to be that type of game for the majority of it. I think Chelsea will be sat back like they were in the FA Cup semi-final, and I think that helps Dave's game a lot more than it does Reece James, and I want Reece James' creativity, if he can offer it, in the final third moving forward. Those little 1-2s that the wing-backs played, both Ben Chilwell and also Reece James, on that right-hand side to really help build up our play. So I want Reece there. Kante, Jorginho, I don't think Kovacic should be starting this game. I think both Kante and Jorginho have been the best double six pairing Tuchel has put together. You think about their amazing performance in the Real Madrid second leg, in particular first leg as well, but the second leg, both of them were outstanding. We saw Kante a little bit more advanced, but I do suspect Kante will be sort of as another 6 in this game rather than as another 8 that we saw against Real Madrid. I don't think Chelsea will have the same counter-attacking opportunities in the space they had against Real Madrid, personally, unless the game goes really in their favour and goes really wrong for Man City, depending on how both teams set up. So I think Kante, you need his intercepting, you need his energy, you need his danger awareness, also the potential to break forward at times and get back. Jorginho has had some shaky performances, but in big games he has performed pretty well. Other than the Leicester FA Cup final, I think he has performed really well for Tuchel, and I don't think Kovacic has done anything to deserve a start here, really, in my opinion. Ben Chilwell, the big mistake I think Tuchel made in the FA Cup final was not playing Ben Chilwell. I don't think he'll be making it again, despite the fact Alonso did score against Man City. Ben Chilwell, we know the diagonal runs, we know the offensive but also defensive quality. He needs to have the focus in this game that can be defined by fine margins. Ben Chilwell has been excellent for Chelsea. Let's get to the front three. So the two front threes I've picked, firstly, Ziyech, Mount and Werner. The reason I've said Ziyech, Mount and Werner, now I know the gut instinct from a lot of people will be no to Hakim Ziyech, and I understand why, based on his performance level or lack of performance level or inconsistency, like a lot of the Chelsea players have had this season. The reason why is evidence-based. The FA Cup semi-final, Ziyech, Mount and Werner, and as well the Liverpool Premier League game, these three have shown a capability, in particular, well, all three of them I think can link up well, as we saw for the winning goal against Man City in the FA Cup semi-final. But in particular, Ziyech and Werner linking up with Ziyech in the Atletico Madrid second leg. You remember that, the opening goal there on the break. Ziyech just finding pockets of space, being able to drift in centrally and finish chances. That could be the way Chelsea could score a goal here. I just think Mount and Ziyech's ability to drop deeper and Werner making those runs on the left channel, it's going to be much more difficult, I think, rather than facing Cancelo to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker is an amazing defender. He's got the pace to match Timo Werner, I think, and the awareness too. So it's going to be really challenging for Werner to find as much space again, in my opinion. But I think you want to unleash Werner in the best way possible because he's going to play, and you need Mount's ability to drop in on the half turn, maybe attract someone like Fernandinho, create space for Hakim Ziyech, and make those runs in behind. Also, Ben Chilwell's ability to find those diagonal balls at times over to Hakim Ziyech, making those runs in behind the Man City defence. So that's why I'd want Ziyech to start this game. The other player I bring in here is Kai Havertz. And the reason why is maybe more of a threat as a number 9, more of a natural number 9, a physical presence. If you've got Reece at right wing back swinging in crosses, you've got the ability maybe of Kai Havertz to head them in. Also defensively from corners too, if that's a threat for Chelsea. I'm not going to start Christian Pulisic, and I know this annoys people. I think he's a better impact player, and I also have got frustrated with Tuchel playing him on the right hand side of our attack. I think for Pulisic, and when we think about Pulisic being impactful in big games, we're thinking about him scoring goals. He's much more devastating on the left, and if Timo Werner's going to play there, he's going to occupy that position, and Pulisic is forced on the right-hand side, where I think creatively he can maybe create something, as we saw for Ben Chilwell against Aston Villa. But I think scoring a goal, he needs to be on that left side. He needs to be on that left foot to be devastating, and I don't think he'd be playing unless maybe you shift Werner to the right. But I think it's more likely actually that Kai Havertz, that we've seen had some amazing performances at number 9 for Tuchel recently. I think, especially you think about the Real Madrid second leg where he all round was brilliant. The finishing is a big problem, isn't it? Because Chelsea aren't going to get a lot of chances. The game has to go amazingly well for Chelsea to get a bundle of chances. But even if we do get a bundle of chances, you don't expect us to take them. Who does the chance fall to? Once again, I think Hakim Ziyech, who scored in his last 2 appearances against Man City in the Premier League and FA Cup. But also, I'd probably give it to Mason Mount, a big goal scorer for Chelsea this season in big moments. But we all know the lack of quality in this team is a damning thing and could be the key thing that lets us down at the final hurdle, unfortunately. But those are my 2 teams. Now I pass it over to you guys. This is the biggest team I've ever made for a predictor. It surely is for you, predicting this. And I'm sure for Thomas Tuchel, he's got some impossible decisions to make. But let's hope he gets them right. God knows what I'll be like tomorrow evening. It's going to be an awful experience, I think, even if it does end up going well for Chelsea. We know the stress of 2012. I'm just praying it doesn't go to another penalty shootout, because I don't think my heart can handle that after seeing the Villarreal Man United penalty shootout. But thank you guys so much for supporting Team Selector this season, for watching my previews, for engaging in the comments. But thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Twitter at SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.